Let me can you mute your side that way? Because I'm gonna turn the volume up. Okay.
Um, I got everything.
What you in are you in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the movie? You're in the grass now. Uh, it's funny. You guys are crazy with these fucking what is it called? The backgrounds? Green screens. There we go. Cool. All right. Hey, you got to put the placa on that bottle, Roberto. You got to put the gang name on there, bro. Otherwise, that bottle's got to go, homie. All right, let's start, guys. A couple things I want to discuss with you today. It won't be too complicated, won't be too um, out there in regards to the content. Uh, First, let's start with this. Something that I did early on in my career that I think will benefit all of you because it spills over into your personal life and everything that you do is you want to view, and I'm going to talk about it a lot today. You want to view what we do in real estate and your regular life as intertwined, right? Like a big mistake that people make is, and this is just generally accepted in our culture and society, right? Like, oh, well, I don't want to talk about work and it's not about work. And like they try to make you a separate entity to what you do, right? And in a way that traps you mentally because now you're looking forward to the escape, the vacation, the time off, all this stuff. When you stop viewing it in that way and treating it in that way, it becomes a lot easier for you to not only enjoy what we do, but start to see that you can literally add it in everywhere you go. As an example, right? Real estate is a part of you. It doesn't define you. It's not just your career. But at the same time, people need to be aware that that's a flag that you fly, a patch that you have on your shirt, right? Like if you guys ever saw like in the Boy Scouts, right? They get those little merit badges, the little things. You would sew that on and say, out of all the things that I have, one of them is I'm in real estate, right? With that said, everywhere you go, I would ask this question. Even the people that know you on an acquaintance level, like you say hi to them at the store or whatever, do they know that you're in real estate? Do they know that you're a practicing real estate agent? Do they know that you're a real estate practitioner? Do they know that about you? They'd be like, "Oh, there's Josh. He's a realtor." Like, would they say that when they describe you or no? Because that tells me a lot about how you carry yourself and how you interact with the world. It's not that we go around, "Hey, stranger, I'm a real estate agent." Like, no, we don't do that, right? But it has to be like a part of you. Same thing with your social media. It should be on your profile. It should be a topic of conversation. I did a webinar the other day and someone's like, well, I have conversations with people, but I don't know how to like transition it into real estate. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like what you're saying is I'm going to have a fake conversation that then eventually I want to turn it into a real estate conversation. That's not how you do it. Like I would tell people like there's a couple ways you can do it, right? Number one, use your straight fucking prospecting scripts when you guys are out. Like I would. Now if you want to be smooth about it, right? And I want to talk to people and introduce it in there indirectly, I would say something like, man, let's say I'm talking to somebody. I had the craziest day. I was out going door to door and I was talking to this gentleman at his doorstep about this new listing around the corner. And one of his kids comes fucking like running right behind him, like butt naked, right? And even he stops and he looks and we're like, what the hell? And now I'm trying to carry on the conversation without being awkward when his naked ass kid just ran by, right? Now I just made that up right now. And you could make this shit up too, but that would be a way of me throwing it in where someone's like, wait, this dude was going door to door. Like that's eventually in a comfortable conversation, it's gonna come up like, wait, you were going door to door, like what do you do? Okay, now I can bring in real estate, right? So if you want to be smooth, that would be a way of doing it. I don't think you guys have to do that. Like if you're out talking to people, hey, how you doing? And you're just having a surface level conversation, tell them. But yo, I'm in real estate and I'm hungry, right? Like I have a big goal this month of selling 10 houses. Can you help? Who do you know? Right? Who's in your life right now that you look at them and you say, this motherfucker needs to buy a house like ASAP? Who? If you were to guess, right? And if you guess correctly, I would give you $1 million. Which one of your friends or family members or cousins or anybody you think is going to buy a home this year or sell a home, right? You guys can say whatever you want. If you were to guess right, you hit the lottery, right? And I give you a check for $1 million, like one of those big, like in the movies, right? The big lotto checks that you get to carry around, right? Or like even Happy Gilmore had in his movie when he would win the golfing competitions, right? In the back of his car, he had all those big checks. That would be another way of kind of interestingly doing this thing. But everywhere I go, I fly the real estate flag. The motherfuckers that know me at the gym know I'm in real estate, right? Because all that weird calisthenics shit I do, they're like, "Oh, do you do fucking gymnastics?" I'm like, "No, I do real estate. That's what I do, homie." Right? Can I sell you a house? Right? Like we, yeah, the homes and the MTV. Yeah, that's a great way of answering. That would be like your elevator pitch. What that I saw brought up because it's not like, "Oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a real estate agent." Nah, dude. You ever watch MTV Cribs? Those are the homes that I sell. Right? That's the Team BC brand right there. That's what I do. I sell the dream. That's what I sell. Like the homes that you're in your dreams, right? Where then you wake up and you're like, damn, I wish I had that house. Those are the houses that I sell and that my team sells. And then you can pull up even our property tours, some of our property tours online and show people. Hey, look at this house, $15 million. Look at this one, $2 million. Right? Even Roberto, he could be like, look at this one that we did in Atlanta. His fucking sign was in front of it. So it looks like his listing directly, which is cool. But it needs to be like an extension of you, right? I know some of you have kids or you live and stay with family and you guys are going to functions all the time. People need to know what you do, man, right? Like bring it up, right? There's nothing to be bashful about. This is what I do. Even if somebody brought it up, like, man, you're talking about your career a lot. Damn straight. I love my career and I'm good at it. Why wouldn't I talk about it? I enjoy what I do. Do you enjoy what you do? Flip it on them and watch how quickly someone who's miserable at their job will admit it. Well, of course, you guys don't want to talk about work. You don't like your work. I love my work. So I want to talk about it. It's not a chore for me to talk about work. I'm excited to talk about work. I'm excited about getting people top dollar. I'm excited about, listing the for sale by owner and selling it for more than he thought he would get, just to prove the point that what we do is legitimate. I'm excited to help the expired who got burned by another agent to help them move where they want to move. Of course, I'm excited about that. That makes me want to talk to people more, right? Oh man, like, I tell people, they'll be asking about the career stuff or like let's say I'm checking out right at the store. I'm like, man, I I tallied in my head today. I said this to like somebody who works at the cash register. I said I tallied in my head today. I made 600 because I saw it on the computer, right? Because I have one of those dialers, and this is just random, right? I'm telling her. I said I did 684 dials, and I talked to 53 people today. I talked to 53 people. I reached out and talked to 53 people. And she kind of looked at me. I said, so like, as an example, to give you a reference in a day, checking out here in your shifts, how many people do you think you talk to? And she's like, oh, probably like, 200, right? In like 6 hours or whatever. I'm like, cool. But these people are coming to you, right? Imagine you approaching people, you approaching the 200 and you going and talking to them. What do you think that would be like? She's like, oh man, I would never do that, right? I'm too scared to do it. I was like, see? So I talked to 53 people today. Now, based on your experience here, this is a conversation we're having while she's checking me out. I said, how many of those 53 do you think were mean or upset or nasty with me? Right. And of course, she gave some big ass number. She's like, oh, half. I'm like, oh, not even close. I was like, it's interesting. You think when you would approach people that most people would be like an asshole or a negative? And she's like, oh, yeah, people are the worst. I was like, damn. The average person thinks the average person is fucking horrible, you know? I was like, nah. I was like, but take a guess though. It's way less than that. Like, I'll give you a couple tries, but it's probably way less than you think, right? And from that day, I think like two or three were assholes, like fuck you, like over the top asshole. And she never guessed it right. The lowest that she guessed, believe it or not, was 10. I was like, damn, 10. That's like still 20%. I was like, shit, you have very little hope for humanity, huh? And I told her, I was like, it was actually three people like that went out of their way to be like, oh, fuck you, you telephone salesman, blah, blah, blah. Right. I was like, isn't it interesting that our own mind? So now that you know that, would you say if I told you, hey, you have to approach people, knowing the reality now compared to what you thought, it may be a little easier for you to approach people because you have the facts now that less people are assholes or less people are mean than you think? And she's like, well, yeah, that would make it a lot easier. Bingo. Right. Now, it was quick, but when they check you out, if you have a lot of stuff, it could take a couple minutes, right? We talked and I told her I was in real estate, blah, blah, blah. Told her about the team, but like that's how I integrated into what I'm doing. I took an experience. This is what you can do. I took an experience from my day and use that as a topic of conversation, right? Now, is this going to require a little bit more out of you guys? Probably, because you don't do it. You guys probably go to fucking the market, you do the self checkout, you don't even make eye contact with anybody, and then you walk out. I'm over there fucking talking to everybody, and you're probably wondering like, who the fuck is this person, right? And then I'll wear, I always wear shirts like this. Even at the bank today, I walked in. One of the young guys like, damn, bro, you always have fire ass outfits on, especially the shirts. I'm like, I got to be in character, bro. I got to stay in character. I can't walk in here and blend in. I was like, that would be the worst, right? So again, and though like from the other side of the bank, oh hey Bryan, right? Like that's what I want. It's not that, oh, I'm so cool, they know me. It's I want the realtor, me, and everything about me to be that character where I go. It's like, okay, you're gonna know who I am. Because then other people will start talking to you. Or at that point, this is what you guys have to get from a social standpoint. When the employees or the people that work somewhere acknowledge you, your ability to have a conversation with anybody skyrockets because now you have intrinsic social value in that environment, right? And that's what this whole thing is about. If I have that social value in that environment, I can literally at that point just look over to anybody and say, hey, and they'll talk to me because the other people that work at this establishment acknowledge that I'm somebody. Now I can open conversations, like even incorrectly. I just look at somebody and be like, hey, and they'll talk to me. Or at least be way more likely to engage with me compared to if I did that on the street, where I would just be like, hey, and they're like, who's this fucking weirdo, right? Because in that environment now I have established value because the people who are in that environment, the employees, the manager, the owner, fill in the blank with anybody, acknowledge me as a somebody. Now you have value, right? So it makes it easier. But every establishment you guys go to, you like that word establishment? Every establishment you guys go to should know that not only you, but that you're in real estate and more importantly, that you're good and you're excited about what you do. Because ask yourself this, if your friends, your database, and everybody knew that not only you were good, because that's really what we're trying to prove, right? That we're good at what we do, but they knew that you were excited, like really into what you did, wouldn't it raise the likelihood of them sending you a referral, even if they knew other people, right? Because let's say they have their friend and they're like, man, like my friend really needs like special attention, or I really want, somebody to do a good job for my friend. Like they want to prove themselves to their friend or the person that they know. They're going to send them to somebody that they know is like going to go the extra mile, right? And when you're excited about what you do, they already assume, like, damn, remember that dude we met, Bryan, with the fucking crazy ass shirts? Like, for sure, he loves what he fucking does. We need to send it to him because for sure he's going to do a good job. Cool. That's what I want. All right, we overlook those little details, but they're so important. So what I'm saying is this embodiment needs to be you. This I'm a light everywhere I go, right? Even if you don't view yourself that way, because I know some of you view yourself as more the opposite. Like, oh, I just kind of blend in. I'm soft spoken, right? All that nonsense we tell ourselves, right? And you remember Loida bringing that up. Everybody would tell her that. Oh, you're shy. Oh, you're this and that. Well, when everybody fucking tells you that shit 24/7, you're going to start to believe it unless you have a really strong character, like maybe me, where I would tell people, shut the fuck up. Stop telling me that, right? Now, until you have an outburst like that, which I wouldn't recommend you do because it's not the right way to do it, then people will leave you alone. At the same time, you need to be strong enough and good up here to where if people tell you that, it goes in one ear and out the other, and you can have a conversation with them, be like, oh, really? Tell me more about that. I want to hear about how shy I am. I could have a whole conversation with somebody about that could tell me everything, and it's just going to go in one ear and out the other. Cool. Oh, really? Oh, tell me more about that. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I'm glad that you noticed that. I could be saying all that shit, and it's just, but you guys will sit there and take it and then believe it. And then or somebody will lecture on this, and you're like, man, this is going to be tough because I'm fill in the blank, right? That's why I am tattooed right here. It's one of the first tattoos that I got. Everything you say after that, even up here, not verbally, but up here, it creates the character, which is you, what you go out and interact with the world with, right? Because who you actually are and what you're showing to the world are two different things. Most of the time, you want to, blend that in so it's one. Yeah, there might be some nuances here and there, but for the most part, what I show you guys in the world, like 95% of it is who I am, even behind closed doors. Ask the people who know me. There's no like, and then behind closed doors, I'm a different person, right? It's not like I fucking imagine like behind closed doors, I'm dressing up and wearing like capes and like I'm fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, well, who's this motherfucker, right? Like, it just wouldn't make sense. But most people live that way, or the point is they think they have to do that. They think, oh, well, I'm in real estate now and I'm about to make calls. I need to get excited and energized. And hey, it's like, no, dude, you need to be enthusiastic and have that attitude all the time. Not suddenly you turn it on when you make phone calls. Then when you shut it off, you're like, oh, fuck this shit, man. And then you go back to, being a slob. You don't want to do that. Because I know people will do, oh, I like making calls from home because then I can just be in my crusty ass sweats all day and I don't have to dress up. Well, see, that's a flaw in character right there. You like that one?
Crusty.
Because that's how people will do it. So that's why we've recommended to you guys too. Even if you're going to work from your home, have your little space, make it smell good, make it look good. And, even if you're going to sit and make your calls, wear a nice shirt and dress up. I used to do that, right? When I would visit my parents and stay with them for like a day or two, ask them. I would be in the corner room making cold calls in a fucking full suit. And even they're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I got to be in mode, dude. They're like, oh, you're at the house. You don't have to dress up. They would tell me that. Like, no, like, you don't have to. I'm like, fuck it. Nah, dude. I'm in the suit. I'm in the suit 24/7. I go to the fucking gym. I'm in the suit, right? I told you guys. I would literally walk into the basketball court and like look down and be like, oh shit, I'm in the suit. I need to change. And I would go back to the fucking change room and change. Because it was so ingrained in me to do that, right? So you have to look at all these things and make sure that you're that. And if you're not that yet, become that. Become the person. Because let's say you guys don't like wearing suits because you think they're uncomfortable. It's because you never wear them. I love wearing suits. They're comfortable as shit. And even though they're athletic fit, I like them. Back in the day, though, I didn't really wear them. And I would tell you, fuck a suit. I don't want to wear that. Because I would say, that's not me. I don't have to. I'm not going to a funeral, right? You make up all this shit. Yet if somebody asked me, how often do you wear a suit? And when's the last time you wore a suit? I wouldn't be able to answer. I'd be like, fuck, 3 years ago? So they could easily tell me, then how can you come to the conclusion that wearing a suit isn't comfortable? Now, nowadays, people say, well, it's a different time. You don't have to wear a suit. Motherfuckers still respect the suit, regardless of what people tell you, right? The internet trolls and the people who ain't worth shit will tell you, oh, yeah, you don't have to wear a suit. But we take two people and compare them. The dude who's in a suit 24/7 versus the one who isn't. The dude who's in a suit 24/7 is going to have more opportunities and be viewed in a different light than the person without a suit, period. End of story. Who do you want to be perceived in a higher light by? Your customers. If you go door to door in a suit versus not in a suit, you're going to be perceived as higher value, period. I don't care where you door knock. They're going to take you serious. Be like, oh, this is a businessman right here, a businesswoman. Right? I mean, you can't argue that. Yeah, they'll point to, oh, well, look at Mark Zuckerberg. He's a billionaire and he wears sweats. He's a fucking billionaire, dude. He's a billionaire geek who works behind computers. Yet anytime you see him in the public eye, he has a suit on. He had to go testify in front of Congress. What did he have on? A suit. Because that's the etiquette, right? They're having a business professional hearing. He's in a suit. He didn't show up in his sweats. He's not above the law, right? Again, you're going to be taken seriously. Now, the more important part isn't just the perception, it's you. If you guys all were in your offices, right? And everything you did, you dressed up nicely, you would feel different, period. You feel different when you dress up properly versus you just wear sweats or a wife beater or no shirt. Because trust me, y'all, like, fuck, I walk around my house too sometimes with no shirt. It's comfortable, of course, especially if it's hotter where you're at or, colder, you want to, oh, I want to dress up a little differently. But there's the proper etiquette, which gets you the result and rewires you here versus, oh, I'm just going to do what I want. Right? Even the wind agrees with me, right? It opened the door. When I run to realtors knocking doors, many of them are wearing gym clothes. Yeah. Yep. There you go. They're not working. They're never working. Oh, I'm not working, today. Let me correct that. You never work, homie. And that's what I would tell people, right? Like we would run into that all the time when we were door knock. I'm like, dude, this realtor's at home at like fucking 10:30 in their sweats. Like, what are they doing? I've been up since fucking 5 a.m, right? Yet people will tell you, oh no, you can't. You can't door knock. That's frowned upon. By who? Somebody who wants to sell. I've never met anybody who wanted to sell their house, who wanted a professional realtor, who frowned upon door knocking. They would say, I'm not going to expire at 7 a.m. I wish my last fucking realtor was up at 7 a.m. knocking on doors and my house would have sold. I'm like, exactly. And I got that fucking listing. I said, that's why I'm here, sir, because you already went through a shitty experience and now it's time for you to sell. So you want me to cut to the chase? All right, let's get this thing sold. Because it sounds like you still want to like, and I got an appointment right away. Then I qualified him and did all the shit. Versus, I'm sure you guys, if you have a door knock that early, the immediate thought is, oh shit, people are going to bitch at me for knocking on their door at 6:30 or 7. Not a motivated seller. A motivated seller is going to. I remember I told you guys a story knocking on January 1st at like 7. Someone's like, oh, an agent came at 6:15. We signed with him. I was like, shit. That happened to be my first year. I still got listings that day. Every January 1st, I would set appointments and or attend appointments the same day and get 3 or 4 listings. Those between the 31st and the 1st, those like 2 or 3 days. Always. I knew I would hit a home run because there's motivated people, right? But when I heard that, I was like, man, I need to knock earlier. Damn, I knocked at 7 and they said somebody came at 6 or 6:15 and got the listing. Shit. Had I been here 45 minutes earlier, I would have gotten this listing. Versus, everyone else is fighting the demons in their head. Oh man, I can't call or knock that early. They're gonna bitch and I'm gonna get in trouble and right. And then all this stuff goes in your head. Yet when you call at 8, when you're supposed to call, 20 people already called them and they won't even talk to you. Right. Same thing with the stories that we tell ourselves. I'm gonna go door to door. I'm gonna dress down. That way, they don't think I'm a businessman. Dude, you want them to think you're a businessman. I'm about my business, selling real estate. I don't play games. I'm very good at what I do. And even if somebody brought it up, sir, would you want me to come meet with you in a professional respect to list your home and wear fucking chanclas and flip flops and fucking shorts? Would you take me serious? Would you think, oh man, yeah, this is the dude I want to represent me in the sale of my house and get me the most money, and I'm willingly going to pay this dude 6% commission, and you're going to smile about it? I don't think so. Yet if I show up in a fly 3-piece suit, looking good, walking and talking the part, you're going to be like, yep, right? If we created a silhouette, a picture of what that is, draw or picture for me the real estate agent who's going to sell your house. You think they're going to put homeboy in a fucking Tommy Bahama shirt and fucking sandals? No, no. Yet you'll allow people to tell you, oh, no, it's okay. Now, I'm not telling you what to do and what not to do. I just knew that when I was new, I said, I need to embody this being professional and being in a suit all the time. That's why for the first 3 years, y'all would see me in a suit 24/7. 24/7, suit, tie, until my business was rocking and rolling. And even then, I still didn't wear it 24/7, but when I conducted myself during my business hours, I was always in a suit. Always. To the point where, like now, I like wearing them. They're comfortable. And I even have fun with it now. Like the Miami suit, the Joker suit, all those crazy ass suits you guys see me have. I love it. I have like a whole section in my closet dedicated to them. And I'll just open it and look at them and be like, damn, those are some cool ass suits. And I walk around and, even in my house, sometimes I'll just be wearing the suits. Nobody's watching. I'm not making any videos. I'm like, man, this suit is cool. You just feel different wearing them, right? Out in public. If I go out in public in my suits and I try to ignore people, I'm not going to be able to do it. Because someone will be like, oh man, that's a cool suit. Where did you get that? Like someone's going to approach me or ask me that. Like, damn, bro, like, where did you get that suit? That's cool. Oh, I love the suit. Like when you guys see me travel and do these little even day trips where I go speak, like Monday, I'm going to North Carolina. I'm going to go speak and come back. Going through the airport, at least a handful of people will say something. Damn, that's a sick suit or something. Like, wow, it's a sharp suit. I like that. Oh, it's a very nice color, right? Everybody says something. See, but if I wasn't to do it, you think people are going to walk up to me? Hey, bro, how come you're not wearing your suits? Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one's going to say that. You're just going to be like everybody else. But when you're in character and everything about you embodies it, you get the reaction. I want that. Oh, well, but again, some of us maybe were brought up, don't get attention. Well, shit, if I want to be a realtor and make money and meet more clients, I need attention. So we have to fix these things. Oh, I got to be low key. I get it. But however, when we're now wanting to be in real estate and be successful, you cannot be low key if you want to maximize your results. Later on, when you're mega successful, then do whatever the hell you want. Right? When you've hit the point where it's like, okay, I've sold my, 50, 60 homes a year. Everything is dialed in. Like you're at the point where you're at the peak of what you wanted to be. Okay, then you can start bending and changing the rules. Sure, go for it. Because now you're in the position to do so. Right? Like I remember this dude was at the Tony Robbins conference that I went to in 2015. What's Homeboy's name? The dude that wrote the book, The 4 Hour Work Week, Tim Ferriss or whatever the fuck his name is, he was there, you know? But when I hear people talk about the 4 hour work week, I'm like, bro, you're brand new. What the fuck are you talking about a 4 hour work week? You think he just came out of the gate working 4 hours a week? No, he busted his ass for probably a decade and then got a 4 hour work week. Right. So that comes later. When the success is there, then we can start to bend and change the rules and make these adjustments. Right. So when I say we have to become whatever that is, dude, I said this before, right? I think I've said this to you guys. If I went to visit all of you, right, and I hung out with you for a day and we went out to different places, like places that you frequent, stores, places, and like people weren't acknowledging you by first name and like noticing you, I would be like, what the fuck is going on? How does nobody not know you? Like I would be disappointed in you. Be like, how the fuck does nobody know you? Like, how are we walking around and no one even looks twice at you? No one knows that you're the realtor. Like, this is your neighborhood. This is where you live. This is your city. How do you blend in like everybody else? That doesn't make sense to me. Not one person has been like, oh yeah, hey Bryan, right? I mean, shit, I was working out at the park last night with my trainer and somebody came up to me, right? And he was visiting from fucking Chicago. He's like, oh man, yeah, I've seen your shit, da, 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 da. And then he ended up working out with us a little bit and talking to us. That should be happening for you guys too. And it's not about being a big YouTube star, but it's this: if every day you go out, right? You got the suit on, you're doing your thing, you're talking to people, and you're embodying all these principles. Over time, you start to separate yourself from the pack, right? When people see you out there in the neighborhoods door knocking every day, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, you're the realtor that door knocks, huh? Yep. And I'm ready to sell your house when you're ready to move, right? Like now, okay, I'm noticed. Now they know not only that I'm a realtor, they know I'm the one that works hard. So now when I'm sitting with those people at a listing appointment, it's going to be a little easier to get 6 or 7% commission. That I can guarantee you, y'all. Because even when the thought comes up to ask, and I've had one of those ask, I'm like, okay, 6%. For me to earn 6%, what would I have to do, sir? In your eyes, to pay 6% and be like, okay, yes, I'm good with this. What would you need to know about me to be like, I'm okay paying 6%? And he wasn't saying anything. So I said, okay, number one, hard worker. I said, yeah, cool. How do we meet? Oh, you were going door to door. Do I work hard? Yeah, seems like you do. Right. And I literally just created a little list and he started saying yes, 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 yes. And I got the 6%. But all it was acknowledging things he already knew about me. I was like, see, now this isn't something I'm putting on paper. This is what you've already experienced of me. True or true? And what did I list? When you create the list, you can make it to your advantage. I said, number two, what do you think it was? Dress sharp. Every time you see me, sir, am I dressed like a fucking $1,000,000? He's like, oh yeah, you always have nice suits on and a tie. Bingo. That'd be the realtor that you would pay 6%, that you would be proud to say, this gentleman or this lady, represents me in the sale of my house. Would you feel comfortable saying that about me? Oh yeah, that'd be great. Now I'm pleading my case to get 6%. Now, this isn't things that I suddenly, it's like, oh, it's real estate time, I need to do it. No, I just did this all the time. I would tell them, I'm like, sir, if you ever catch me, I would tell this to people, if you ever catch me and I'm not dressed sharp, please let me know and call me out. I would write into my listing agreements and say, look, the seller, right? Especially if they had an iPhone. I said between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m., Monday through Friday. I said they can FaceTime me at any time. And if I'm not working, I will give them the listing back. Meaning, if they FaceTime me and I'm not on Mojo making calls or out there going door to door, I will give them the listing back. And I did that with, I don't know how many people. Only 2 people ever actually did it. One of them FaceTimed me at like 8:45 and I was on Mojo and I showed them. I was like, I gotta go. And then the other one did it while I was out door knocking. I was like, oh, I'm actually 3 blocks away from your house, door knocking. And they're like, oh yeah, I know it's so and so street. I'm like, yep. Right. And so our relationship got better after they called me and then they saw that I was doing it. But for you to put that in a contract, You think there was any hesitation from me? No, because 8 to 12 every day, my ass was out knocking or making calls. And that's what I did. It was like brushing my teeth every morning. That's just what I did. Now I know a lot of people would not put that in the contract because they know their ass is not prospecting between 8 and 12 every day, and they're gonna get caught. And they're like, man, what if he calls that one day, that one Friday when I'm out at the fucking beach instead of prospecting, right? But when you are and you embody all of these principles, you can step your game up like that. Not a problem. Same thing with even the commission, right? I would tell people, look, when you have people battling you about the commission and saying, oh, will you do it for 5 or 4? Flip it on them and say, I'll consider it, sir. Let's do this. 6% is what I'm asking, correct? Why don't we do this? Why don't we make it performance based? Meaning, if I sell it for under this price that I'm suggesting, I will do it for 5. However, if we sell it for 5,000 more, you'll give me 7%. That way, I'm demonstrating confidence in my price that I know I'm going to get it. But if I overperform, you're willing to compensate me for my overperformance. Is that fair? Oh, no, Bryan, we'll just stay with the 6%. That's what I thought. Right? Now, you're not going to say that unless you're confident in pricing. How did I get confident in pricing? Studying the MLS every day and getting my ass out there and doing what I told you guys, which is previewing homes and knocking. I did 2 or 3 every day, 4 or 5 days a week. You don't believe me? Ask Loida and the dude that used to work with me, Eric, the dude that was like 7 feet tall in my videos. Because when they didn't want to do it, I said, get your asses in the car. We're going to go preview and knock. I'd preview homes. And you can ask them. We would write it down. We would take a guess for new listings, what we thought it was going to sell for. We would tour them, and then we would door knock 15 or 20 doors around them, talking to the neighbors about it, right? And after a couple of weeks, you're a wizard when it comes to pricing homes because you know these subdivisions, this track of homes is like this. They always sell for this. Oh, this one's fully remodeled. It's going to go for X. Now I can sit with the homeowner, and when they challenge me at a listing appointment, I can say, "Sir, did you go look at that house that sold?" He's going to say, "No, I saw it online. I physically went." And I can tell you that the finishes on the kitchen were not that good. I can pick that shit apart. And after I do that, they're going to zip because they're like, uh-oh, this dude has done his homework. He knows. But what do we do sometimes? We want to do the minimum effort and get the maximum gain. We want to do the minimum amount of research and memorize 2 or 3 numbers and then go there and act like we're the boss. I did these moves and these things worked because I put in the work behind the scenes that equaled the result. I was a realtor. I'm out looking at, talking to people about, physically there, calling about real estate all day. It's a part of me, right? Again, and you guys have heard this shit, real estate is not my passion. But I said, for me to be the best, I need to involve myself like the best. I need to find what I enjoy about real estate. What I ended up loving was the negotiation aspect. I love just picking apart other agents and out negotiating them, right? I would even tell them, like, watch this shit. Watch this move I'm about to pull on this realtor, right? I'm about to get an extra 5,000 off for my buyer, right? Take notes. That's what excited me about it. So how do I put myself in a position to negotiate? I got to put deals together, right? And I would tell the seller, I would say, look, seller, and I would get into it. I'm like, dude, we can take this deal. I got an idea though, right? I think I can get you an extra like 5 or 10 grand. Now it's up to you. We can take this and run, or you can let me work my magic. What do you want to do? Now the seller's like, what the fuck? Like, who does that, right? But again, that's what I'm excited about. And a lot of them are like, go for it, dude. And I would get them more. I'm like, I got some good news and some bad news, right? And they're like, oh my God, right? This becomes the performance aspect of it. I'm like, well, the bad news is we didn't get, 450. And they're like, uh-oh, what happened? I'm like, well, the good news is we got 470, right? And they're like, oh shit, right? And they get all excited. But again, I'm finding something that's my enjoyment in it, but at the same time, I'm taking it very serious. And these little moves and tricks, I might have mentioned some of this stuff to you guys before and sprinkled it through some of the other lectures, but you come up with this stuff by being fully involved in what you're doing. The new objection handlers that you'll create from your own resourcefulness in your mind come from your involvement in the business, right? Is your mind on real estate? Is your mind on this stuff all the time? If it's not, you're not going to go above and beyond. Ask anybody who was with me the first years in real estate 10 years ago on social media. They're like, dude, this dude's a machine. He's just real estate skills, reading, all the basic shit, like all the boring shit, I'm sure sometimes you guys don't want to do. Like reading every morning. I still probably read now every day more than you guys. I guarantee you. Even if I try to avoid it, I'm like, fuck, I want to read. Like, I like reading. I like learning. Like, I really do. Same thing with waking up early. I could stay my ass up till 3 a.m., but at 6, I'm like, oh, I'm up. You guys could take me to the fucking club and we could be out till 4 in the morning. And then I'll call you at 6 a.m. Are you prospecting? Like, it just wired into me now. Same thing with going out and like conversing with people. You're not gonna see me just go around and like ignore it. Like, I'm gonna acknowledge, hey, nice shoes. Like, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna, let me know one time when we go out if I'm just wearing like plain ass clothes. You're not gonna find it. Even my comfortable stuff still is like this. I'm not gonna wear no basic ass clothes because I understand the result. And I've transformed who I am to be that. We get too caught up in what we think we're supposed to be, or maybe your past dictates and you say, oh, well, I'm this way. No, you can change. You can change. If you consider yourself soft spoken, you can change that very quickly. Very quickly. If you consider yourself as too nice, I know Teresa, you bring that up, you can change that. And I'm sure all of you have heard all the shit. I heard it in the beginning. Oh man, you're not cut out to be in real estate. That's not you. You're not going to do well. I heard that shit from everybody, man. You know what I said? Cool. Watch. Watch closely as I prove every single fucking thing you said to me wrong. But I want you to hold to your word, because when I demonstrate the opposite, I want you to look me in the eyes like a man and tell me I proved you wrong. And I'm going to record that shit and replay it to you every fucking day. Right? Now, I had a chip on my shoulder when I started. And that's fine if you do. That can't be the only thing for you guys to move you. But that was a very big motivator for me in the beginning to change these things. I had a big ass chip. I had multiple chips on my shoulder, actually. It was probably like a bag of chips, right? I had a lot, but I wanted to prove. So even if I did have a moment of weakness, I was like, I can't let these motherfuckers prove me wrong. Like, let's go. And I think sometimes for us, we lack that drive when it comes to what we're doing. Like, full steam ahead, I want to be the best. Because that needs to be the metric that you guys go after. Even if you don't want to be the best in your areas of real estate, you still have to move like you want to be the best. Because that's what's going to get you ahead of everybody, get you the listing, get you the skills and all this stuff. Because if it's, well, I just want to sell 10 houses a year, that's very like average. You're not gonna have that extra umph to wake up a little earlier or have a little bit of a better attitude on the call or ask them 1 or 2 more times for the appointment, right? Like, all that little extra shit is what makes a difference, right? Like, if you want to own a house and live like the background for Roberto, you're not going to do that shit just, well, I'm going to get on the phones at 9 and wrap up my day at 3 or 4. Dude, you ain't going to have that house. You ain't going to have that lifestyle. You're not going to have the ability to chill out all day. It's just not going to happen. And so much of what we are and what's composed in our character, we've allowed other people to tell us what it is, and you haven't taken that power into your own hands to change that. But you're going to have to do it, right? I can talk to you guys all day about this shit, but once this is off and you go out, let's say right after this, you go to the market, well, who's going to show up to the market? Like, am I going to fly in next week and we go to the market together and I can't even talk to you because everybody's like, oh, hey, what's up? Hey, I'll be like, oh, shit, good job. Like, damn, let me roll out the red fucking carpet for you, right? Like, that's what we need. And even if you don't want that, you're like, oh, I don't want the attention. That's okay. You still need to do that, though, for your business. Then when you're the fucking king or queen of your area, then you can shut up and everyone will just come up to you. That's fine. That's fine. But it's safe to say that if you had that, your business would be in a much better position. And your mood, when you do this, guess what? You change as a human being and you become this good attitude, good light. Right? Why do you think so many motherfuckers think I'm on drugs? Oh, well, you can't have that much energy. I do. And I don't fucking do energy drinks. I don't fucking do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't do nothing. Right? But I wasn't like this before. But it's cool when you go around with a smile on your face all the time, how differently people respond to you. You're going to get more business that way too. You're going to break down a lot more barriers when you communicate with people too. People are going to be a lot more receptive to you, right? What do you think I was thinking when I would door knock and a 4'5", 90-pound lady would fucking answer the door and look up at me and I'm this big ass motherfucker? You don't think I'm like, oh shit, she's gonna fucking slam the door in my face. But what balances that equation? Smiling, your demeanor, and all the stuff that we have talked about that's very basic, yet we think, oh, it's not gonna work. Right? And I've even gone to the extreme where like I'll do it with all my fucking tattoos showing and all this shit, and you still get the good result. Now, am I recommending you go to the extreme? No, but I would do it sometimes to prove a point that all that shit is secondary to a lot of the basic stuff that we put out. Just like when you guys are going to make calls or go door to door, fucking check yourself right before you do it. When you're going to walk in after this to the venue, the establishment that you go to, check yourself. Are you doing it right? Hell, if you have to, in the vanity mirror of your car, right? Everywhere you go, leave reminders to tell you to smile or put a picture up that makes you smile. Maybe it's your kids. I don't know. Whatever the fuck it is, man. Because it's different for everybody. Maybe it's that shiny new fucking car that you want. Like for me, I would carry around pictures of my cars everywhere. I'm like, damn, I want this motherfucker so bad. Like, I don't give a shit about anything else except for this. Because people have actually fucked with you guys to make you think that your goal is not important. Oh, there's other more important things. You know what I would tell them? Not to me right now. This is the most important thing. So who are you to tell me what's important in my life? Are you living my life? No? Then mind your own fucking business. Then leave me alone and worry about your own shit. You see, there's like a level of seriousness to this too, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the real estate guy. I'm going to be the one that smiles. I'm going to be the magnet that everybody just fucking is attracted to and socially, right? You can do that. You can do it. The cool thing about this is universally attainable to anybody. You don't have to be special. You don't have to, oh, I was born here. No, dude, these are all this. You know why? And this is why I always talk about this. This is skill based. This is skill based. Working on yourself is a skill that you just have to cultivate. It's very basic tools, and you just do it over and over. Right? And many of us, including me, were the opposite of these things that I tell you beforehand. It just has to become a systematic thing. And I don't care if everything and everyone around you tells you the opposite, you can still change. You could be the person who, would go out for a whole night and not even say a fucking word. And a year later, be the one that I'm like, yo, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you won't, like, shh. I don't want to hear you talk anymore, right? You could literally do that quickly. You guys want to see a transformation of somebody like that? Look at Kevin, who used to work with me for a long time. Kevin Marks, little geek, right? Fucking geek when he started with me. Straight up, fucking geek. And I would even tell him that. And I was like, that shit's got to change. If you want the success in real estate and all the stuff you want, that has to change. Like, just afraid to even go up to anybody, make eye contact, talk to them, just the way he carried himself. Fucking geek. And within months, started changing. And I would tell people at the time, I said, this is my project right here. Watch how he changes. Not as a business person, but as a fucking man too. Watch. And he did. The difference is, though, that he was like, I want to change. And I'll do whatever the fuck it takes to change. He had that mode already activated in him. And I said, good, because without that, nothing changes. He wouldn't question shit, right? He would face things head on. He would do things that I would make him do that were very uncomfortable. We'd be out having lunch and just randomly like, go talk to those people right now. And he would do it. He wouldn't question it. And he'd come back. He's like, I didn't know what the fuck to say. So he literally would go to people and say, hey, I'm saying hi to you guys. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to say. I was like, good. I want you to go through that. I want you to go through that. Right. And now he's a fucking different person. So later on, maybe I'll have him come on and we can talk a little bit more about this, like from his perspective, because it's cool. It's really cool. But it took him making the decision to say, I'm going to change. Right. And for many of us, we don't have that conversation with ourselves. Like, okay, that old thing about me done, I'm stepping into something new. Or I need to bring something back from my past of maybe being more firm with people or, right. I don't know. Maybe some of you were fucking social butterflies in high school. I have no idea. And now you're not. Why not? What the fuck changed? You're older now and smarter and wiser. You're more capable now. Those are simply decisions. You can literally change like that. and go out tonight and be like, I'm the dude in a suit. I'm the business dude. I'm the boss man. Even if you've never worn a fucking suit before, it starts tonight. And then when you get checked and stuff comes that tells you you're not that, how are you going to respond? So now, oh, well, you're not that. Really? How so? Well, I mean, you're just wearing a suit. You're not a business guy. It started today. So as officially today, I'm a business guy. Anything else? Right? Because when you guys get challenged like that, and that's a direct challenge, right? Let's say you have an asshole in your life who tries to do that to you. That would be a way of directly handling it. But when outside challenges come in, how do you guys respond to that? I would ask you that. How do you respond to it? Do you tackle it? Because you can't be in a position to where you're dealing with that stuff, and while you're thinking or hesitating, I have to come and fucking tackle whatever the problem is. And I'm like, that's what you need to do. Okay, now you know for next time. Like these things need to be faced head on, right? Like maybe some of you need to have really tough conversations with some people around you, because I did, right? I literally had to with my parents. I sat them down and said, look, I know you guys are in zero. I mean, you've never been, but especially now, you're not in agreement with anything I'm doing. Fair. You don't have to be. But you need to respect me as a man, because I made a choice and I'm going 100% in on this. So whether I have your support or not, I'm doing it. I'm letting you know. However, if you want a relationship with us to continue moving forward amicably as father and mother and son, a couple things need to be done. And I told him, I was like, when I'm around, I don't want to hear anything negative about what I'm doing. And I literally set the rules down for him. And I said, and again, I said, you don't have to follow any of this, but if you don't, then temporarily, I'm not going to be a part of your life. We will be in zero or very minimal communication, because it will be detrimental to where I want to go and the person that I want to become. But I have to sit you guys down and tell you this, because now I'm a man. I'm not your little boy anymore, right? And some of you need to have those conversations with a lot of people in your life, right? Because again, they have the choice, right? I told them at the end of the day, you have the choice. I'm making these requests. You can say, fuck you. We don't have to do shit. Cool. Just know that there's consequences to that choice. And even the thought of doing that for some of you might scare the shit out of you. And that's good. That means you need to do it today, right? Hell, I might even have another meeting with my cats when I get back home later. Fuck it, you know? Like, I need to set you motherfuckers straight again, right? You need to have this meeting once a month. Make sure you guys are acting. Because even with my animals, when my parents are around, my cats act differently. When I'm around, oh man, they're a lot more sharp. They won't jump on the counters and all that shit. They know better. But when my parents are around, they start fucking acting a fool, because they don't respect my parents like they respect me. And it's not that I fucking beat them and tie them up, like, no, none of that. It's just your presence and your attitude around them. Sometimes I can tell they'll be like on the ground and they'll want to go to the counter and they'll look at me and I'm just fucking staring at them, and they'll like walk away. I'll just tell them like, bro, you already know you're not going to jump up, and they'll just walk away, right? But we need to do this, right? Sometimes you need to have these conversations with your clients. Hey, and a lot of that is established when you guys are doing the pre-qual and when you're sitting there at the meeting, right? Something as simple as future pacing somebody already puts you in that position. This is what we're going to do, right? We're signing today and it's the 3rd of March, right? I just want to give you kind of a rundown. Like, let's say I'm talking to Roberto, what's going to happen, right? And that signifies and sub-communicates I'm in control. I'm an expert. I know what I'm doing, right? And if he's going to give me an objection, he has to give it to me then. Otherwise, it's already understood and established that that's what's going to happen, and he accepted it, period. Right now, if in your mind you're like, oh, well, what happens? Like Josh brought up, I haven't had enough experience yet to know. Then when you're going to have that meeting, you say, hey, I'm about to have a listing appointment. When they sign, what do I say after? Boom, I can give it to you then. But he has to first put himself in the position where he's going to have that listing appointment for then us to tell him. Because now that moment dictates what we need to teach him next. And for many of you, that's what we need. The actions and the basics will put you in the positions and get you the moments where now we can come in and assist you. Where maybe you haven't, you have no reference. Like, oh shit, like when they sign, what do I do next? Like, hey, there you go. I got 2 listing appointments this week. Let's get you ready, right? But you have to earn that moment in position through the actions that then puts you in the position to get the help that you need. right? Otherwise, everything becomes just simply theory. We can't do that. It can't be theory, right? That's like a piece of advice I give a lot of new agents who hit me up. Like they're not even licensed yet, and they're asking me, "Oh, what should be a closing gift that I get?" I'm like, "Bro, you're wasting your fucking time. You don't even have your license yet, and you're trying to plan what closing gift you're going to get a buyer." Like when we're a week away from closing your first buyer, hit me with that question, right? Like you're in theory land. You're just studying in quotes too many different things instead of getting out there and working. Oh, what do you suggest then? Study sales. So the moment you have your license, you're on the phone, you're on the doors, and you're already good. That's going to put you way ahead of everybody else. Do they do that? In most cases, no. They go back to finding out what fucking gift to get people. And then I sit there and they're like 3 months in and they still haven't made a call yet because they're still getting ready and studying. Oh, well, I got to find out what gift to get a seller now, so I can't get out there and prospect yet. Right. Now, as dumb as that sounds, we do that shit maybe on a smaller scale all the time. You know, I didn't want to wear my tie today. It's hot. I used to door knock. How hot did it get? Well, even the summer before,
14
Loida. There was one time that I was out like in LA, it was over 120. And yeah, I get it, right? It's not as humid as South Florida or some other places. I get it. But still, 120 degrees under the fucking sun in a three-piece suit is hot as shit. I don't care where you're at. Arizona, California, Florida, anywhere. That shit is hot. But I was so committed to wearing a suit, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna wear a suit. And I would laugh because then when I would go to the beach, I was dark as shit up here and just fucking a ghost here because I was always in a suit. But I was willing to go through that embarrassment because I was like, fuck it, dude. That just lets you know that I'm working to where like my wrist from here to here are just fucking dark and here. Right. But that's what's showing. That lets you know, okay, this dude has been in the sun a lot. That goes to what I told you guys earlier. The weather is that challenge. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna respond? I'm still gonna wear my fucking suit. I don't care if I have to wash it. I'm still gonna show up. And people would come like, man, bro, like you're dedicated. You're out here in 120. Absolutely. Because it doesn't matter how hot it is, I'm still out here working for my clients. 100%. Yeah, while everyone else is at home bitching about the weather. Right? If you ever find yourself complaining about the weather, you got some work to do. Right? Because your mind should be occupied on a million other things that are productive to your life than the weather. I looked at the weather as okay, a slight inconvenience. I'm still gonna wear my suit. And then the days that it was cooler, I said, "Well, it's good. I'm suited up now, so I can stay warm." Cool. Any questions, guys?
Hey, Brian, I got a question.
What's up, Kyle?
Hey, so listen, real quick. So I was on a call yesterday, like pre-qualifying this guy, and like Lloyd always talk about you gotta ask more questions, right? So
Mhm.
me personally, I'm like a type of person that, like I try not to ask so many god doggone questions because I don't want to feel like I'm the fed for something, right? That's my mindset. My mindset is like, I don't want my wife asking me all these god doggone questions. So now I got to get uncomfortable asking all these questions. So yesterday, I took that bold challenge of just being uncomfortable, asking all these questions, and and, and Buddy went right into the trap. He like, why you asking so many god doggone questions? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's true. I am asking a lot of questions, but this is how I'm gonna help you. I'm trying to see if we're the right fit.
Mhm.
So in turn, I did not want to work with that person no more, just because
Okay.
he gave me that resistance of why you asking me so many questions? What is that like what does that matter why I want to move? You know what I mean? So I'm like, God damn, like you called me. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of
Right.
attitude. So that was very uncomfortable, but it put me in a position where it's like I went right back to, yeah, I shouldn't be asking all these dang on questions. You know what I'm saying? So what would you know what I'm saying? I want your feedback on that.
Because we have a process to follow, bro, and that process is senior to and independent of how we feel about it, right? So think about this: every time we fly on a plane, do they follow a procedure? Yeah.
Right.
Every time we go meet with a lawyer or any type of professional like a doctor, they have their itemized questions that they always ask us, right? Because they have a procedure that they follow. So imagine we go to the doctor and after the third question, I'm like, why the fuck you asking me so many questions, bro?
Right.
They would kick you out, right? They would kick you out. So as an example, even if we look at this thing logically, I have to ask the questions not only to determine somebody's motivation, but to better serve them. The more I know about somebody's situation, the more details that I know, the better I can serve them and the better service that I can deliver to them. Therefore, even if I feel uncomfortable or they do, these questions need to be answered, right? And if they're not, it puts us and them in a worse position. Is really what it is, bro. Because the pre-qualification and even the listing presentation has a lot of questions, but it is what it is, and that's kind of how I even explain it to people. I say, look, every professional has a procedure, don't they? The doctor, the lawyer, every time I go on a plane, there's a procedure that they follow for a reason, and the day that you're on a plane and there's an emergency, you're going to be glad that they walked you through that procedure because now you know how to put the mask on and put your seatbelt on.
Right. So bottom line is, if that I'm not even gonna call them a lead, that potential prospect don't want to answer all the questions that you have for them, then it's okay to just say, we don't have to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, look, let's say it was Lloyd. I'll say, Lloyd, I'm asking you these questions to better serve your needs and get the details that I need to do my homework and better serve you. So
right.
There's a reason, there's a rhyme and a reason why I'm asking. Now, if you do not want to answer the questions, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be the agent for you because I'm not going to be able to help you.
Gotcha.
So if you do ever get that again, one potential concern is privacy for people and trust. And say, look, I would say, Lloyd, if we're going to work together, there has to be a level of trust between us, right? So I'm just letting you know, any information you share with me is confidential. I'm not, at dinner talking about, your life. This is just professional, and this is just for me to be able to help you, and all the information that we share is private and confidential. Cool?
Right.
If that's a concern, because that might be a concern potentially. So I always say that to people. If I feel they're giving a little bit of resistance or they don't want to answer the questions, I'll mention it and say, look, just to remind you, this is confidential, right? This is just between me and you. This is private. I'm not sharing this information anywhere or with anyone else.
Gotcha. Appreciate that.
Cool.
That happened to me yesterday, but I think it was because maybe we put it in my conversation. She understood some part of what I was saying, but not all of it.
Yeah.
So I had to repeat myself, and she got mad at me because it was two properties, right? And I have her on the recording, she was screaming, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, listen, I'm asking you because she told me that she would sell the house if we sell it for 100, right? And I was like, okay, well, then if we sell it, if you would get that, you tell it. She's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, you have two houses and they're income properties, and I need to know how much, each generates so I can tell the potential buyer. And she's like, what do you want to know all that information? I already knew the information too. I just wanted her to confirm it. And she got mad at me to the point that I told her, I was like, she wouldn't let me speak. So I said, listen, until she got that I was in my club. And I was like, I already know the information. I'm asking you to confirm because on the MLS, it shows that your last agent put that information there. And she was like, when did she do that? When did she do that? When did she do that? And I was like, wow. I don't know. But anyways, usually it's when they don't understand what's going on to me.
Or in many cases too, that to me helps you weed out people who aren't serious.
Yeah, she was definitely right.
And then
that's sometimes they hide in something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it happened.
So the way I look at this, when this happens, I'm almost happy because now it's like, okay, now I have one less, situation. Because what will we do? They want to answer like how much they owe. Right. And then we're like, oh, I don't want to ask because that's private information. Well, dude, if I'm going to give you a net sheet, I need to know what you owe. Because I remember, to Kyle's point, somebody brought that up one time. Oh, it's private. I said, look, I understand, but you want to know what you're going to walk away with, right? Well, for me to create an estimate, I have to at least have an idea about what you owe, right? It's not like I'm going to go, hey, Lloyd, so-and-so owes, 500,000 on his property. What a loser, right? I'm not going to go around telling people that information. I needed to create an estimate. And it was out of frustration that I stuck with the guy because I knew he wanted to sell, but he was stubborn. And then he got it. And I said, oh man, but that further confirms I need to ask these questions because now I can't even do my job, Or one other time I found out, he said, well, I have no idea. it gets taken out of my account. I said, okay, cool. Then when we meet at the presentation, do your best, call or look through your emails and get a copy of your most recent mortgage statement. So in the moment, I can prepare a net sheet for you, so you have an idea of what you're going to walk away with, right? So he was more flustered. He wasn't like upset, but he was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, well, shit, we need to know, right? Like escrow is going to give you when we're in escrow, the escrow officer will give you an accurate one. I want to give you at least a general one so you have an idea. He's like, well, no other realtor's done that. I'm like, no other realtor's giving you an estimate? Like, who are you talking to, bro? Like everybody wants to know what they walk away with. You're gonna buy a next house, right? Well, how are you gonna buy the next house if you don't even know what you're gonna walk away with and you have no idea how much money you have? So, like, I've gone back and forth with people about this stuff, but you want to stick to your guns and get your questions answered for sure, for sure.
And when I was asking her about the condition of the house again, we couldn't. I had to like repeat it. She's like, "What do you mean the condition of my house? My house is perfect." And then I looked at the picture, and it was not.
That was horrible. Yeah, crazy. Cool. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. Any other questions, y'all?